Hello, this is Jack from MABRIK and welcome back to the Captain's Log for June. Before we move forward in time, let's recap what happened in the last month because we're all really feeling it. It's been very, very busy with a lot of different things, starting from Monday. My most vivid memory is when I came home, decided to walk the dog, right? So I went outside, did the whole lap around the building, was throwing kibble everywhere, you know, so the puppy can find it in the grass, be happy and eat it. And then I circled back home and the dog was still there. It kind of sums up how fun it has been for a lot of us. Daniel's new invention is Google Forms. I don't know what the hell that is. It sounds like some kind of weird knockoff form of Google in Eastern Europe, but you know, stuff happens. So yeah, Mini Mine we went to. There were a few interesting model makers and displays and dioramas. Sadly, didn't get full numbers for the Warhammer event, but we'll just take notice of that. Everything else was just fine. I mean, in terms of organizational skills, that event is kind of lacking. We do have a very broad point of comparison, so most likely not going back to that one again. But it was fun for what it was. Of course, the very big thing for us was the Final Fantasy pre-release, so that was completely off the charts in terms of interest towards the product and the participation in the event itself. We sold out all of the pre-con decks and everything else extracurricular in a day or so. Good fun. There's going to be a little more coming in, but not very much. Happy enough as it is, we got so much of the product in itself. That took a lot of doing and convincing, and we've been taking to heart all of this TCG shortage stuff. So the only kind of like a dark spot on my son was the Flesh and Blood High Seas pre-release, because with no day's notice, we learned that more than half of our shipments will not be available. There was a lot of confusion with all of this, and while we normally hold LSS to high standards about stuff, you know, the apparent lack of communication was very disappointing. But it's not a done deal yet, so we're gonna write back to them to try and get numbers for more product down the line, because they suffered some kind of a printing catastrophe months ago and didn't bother telling anyone about this. I'm still assuming everything's gonna resolve somehow. In the meantime, we also got Scarlet and Violet Destined Rivals in, and in a long time this has been like more or less a proper release with a full complement of products, minimal cutbacks, and because we are still very strict about how many boosters you can buy in store, so some kids can actually get a hand on it as well if they want to, assuming the boosters are going to last at least a week, so that's as happy as that can be. And one of the biggest surprises, of course, was the One Piece release with 6 new starter decks and 2 booster products, one being a double one. That has been extremely popular, and the good thing is we're finalizing the Bandai contract. We're going to have organized play maybe by the end of the summer now. Aside from this, due to very steady and good numbers for Magic, we're also going to be upgrading our WPN account, so for everyone who's playing, that means you get more promotional stuff in the future. It's sort of a prestige thing more than anything else. One of the biggest surprises, of course, has been the Black Library Edition. That went like wildfire, and we're having a lot of trouble stocking it up. Now that the first founding was announced, we're hoping to get even more books in for all of your Warhammer literature needs, so that's going to be great. For me, a highlight of the month was obviously Doom Dark Ages. While I did not finish the game for different reasons as of yet, the merchandise is still cool as hell, and we're gonna get even more in this week or maybe the next one. So like huge pile. And a very big focus point is still on Gundams right now, so everything that's new, and we know people like master grade products in particular, so we're focusing a lot on that one as well. Lastly, in terms of big release items, you know, board games are aplenty and we have a good stock, and even more is coming in. But in the Warhammer department, Space Wolves army set was wildly in demand, not to mention the chapter approved objective stuff, and these little babies have a fair few of them for all your organized play needs. Now, in the current time frame, looking into what's happening in June, we just received a new shipment of books, mangas, and comic books, and I will take this small time to explain how all of this works. Collecting comic books is sometimes very tricky. Out of the blue, a particular issue of a comic book may become so popular that no matter how much we order, there are going to be severe allocations. We may get none of them because there's like a particular character appears in this or whatever external external reason there may be. So I'm still looking for my 1997 issue number, God knows what, for October, for Mickey Mouse to complete that year, for example. So collecting comic books is interesting to say the least. Every month, let's say this pile here is me right now. So this is June, July, August, September. Me doing orders in June, we're going to get all of these things somewhere here. There is a huge gap, about 2-3 months, sometimes even more, in terms of arrivals. On top of everything else, it's an extremely difficult system of ordering them, so I need to scour about 20-30,000 lines in a dull-looking Excel spreadsheet thingy just to pick out all the comic books everyone would like to have here. Obviously, we're doing our very best to have continuous runs, but at the same time, you cannot imagine how different it is doing business here in Estonia compared to almost everywhere else in the world. The people and the companies we work with in terms of getting the comic books, they are prehistoric by our standards. They don't have automated systems, they barely have anything. It's all pen and paper as far as I'm concerned. They miss a lot of things, and we have never had a single shipment in all of the time we've ordered comic books where there's also, on top of everything else, not something wrong. So they miss putting in specific issues of stuff we've ordered. As soon as that happens, of course, we put the flag up and they're like, yeah, where's our stuff? And you know, it's everybody's guess if they're going to ship it out next month with the next shipment or not. Tricky, but we're doing our best, and that's all I can say on the matter. Hope it clarifies some things from people asking us about specific issues of comic books in retrospect. And yeah, ordering stuff in retrospect almost impossible because of the 3-month delay. Talking about events, all the upcoming things at least, at the end of the month we're gonna have an Age of Sigmar Spearhead tournament, and currently it's filled out very nicely, so our first dip into hosting organized play stuff for Age of Sigmar, and hopefully everyone's gonna like it. So much so, it's already prudent to talk about July events because there's a lot of like scheduling conflicts. Not only is the Song and Dance Festival kind of like going to be a little bit of a divisive issue in scheduling Legends of the Force for Star Wars Unlimited. We're still not exactly sure when to do it. We might even host the event on the release week itself, because no point doing stuff if people are not going to show up because big stuff's happening right next door. There's also the Nationals coming up. Edge of Eternities for Magic is already selling out very quickly, and this year's biggest Warhammer tournament wherever you go. There is a very strong interest in all of this, and our mini tournament essentially was a testing ground to iron out all the kinks. So we are well prepared. This is more in conjunction with how we're changing things overall inside the company, but the board game events are now going to be scheduled to be on Tuesdays, Fridays, and select Sundays. They're going to be open play formats, so anyone can come and play with their own games or borrow the stuff we have here. We're slowly but surely adding more things to the catalog, and mostly on account of Wargaming Wednesday being so popular, it's warranted not having any additional events in the background, because, you know, the place really fills up and there's a nice energy going on. Kind of a dream come true, really. So yeah, speaking of big changes, not only are we restaffing the company, from July onwards we're gonna be having new service personnel and separating some of the internal functions we have into a separated office contingency who's going to better help us do all the important background stuff, and especially everything to do with the eShop. Thanks to Valentin, we've also made the switch to a more stable server space, and now the eShop should be improving in terms of load speeds and everything else. From the design department, we've scaled back everything in terms of weight of images and extraneous animations or whatever, just so the system could be stable, and we're going to be improving the functionality and the navigation even further on. Right now I think it's already pretty good compared to what it used to be, but in the coming weeks, at least in the very short term, we're going to be finishing off our remodel of Telliskivi, so that store could have the best possible layout with the best displayability of products, but also on account amount of people asking us to improve the visibility of comic books in general. Both stores are going to get upgrades, so you can better find all your favorite comic book reading stuff. Tulkri is going to have a bit of a proper construction thing going on, as I've mentioned before. Until anything else happens, we're going to be investing in the welfare and comfort of all the players visiting us day in, day out. The ventilation system has always been a bit of a problematic concept in this old historic building. That should get fixed this week, actually. As some other things are still kind of behind on negotiations, the cafe is waiting on a proper ventilation shaft, and we'll see how that goes. Until that time, we just cannot make food. But to the point, you know, if people have valid suggestions about anything, really, we're very open-hearted and open-minded, and if it's sound reasonable and in the realm of our possibilities, we're gonna make it happen. Just like with the comic books, and this is also here as a reminder in itself, because a lot of parents come to us and they ask, hey, can you like make more wallets available for children? So this is Bluey wallets. It comes in 2 different variations. There's also a weird wallet shortage in Europe for whatever reason. So we're gonna have a little but not a lot, but we're trying. So no, stuff like this. And it kind of clashes with other things that are sometimes really borderline depressing. I don't know what is wrong with people nowadays. Tulkri seems to be getting like a very good crowd of like-minded people. They come and play. We have no issues, problems of any kind at all. And then there's Telliskivi, which is like a petri dish for epic retardation, because some of the people who walk in through the door are just plain obnoxious. While we are polite and we greet everyone as best we can, we're also working at the same time, so we're not rolling out red carpets, you know. It's just like a bunch of dudes welcoming another bunch of dudes, and everything should be fine and mellow. So people with weird expectations, please don't come, because we're not here to entertain you per se. I'm not gonna be prostituting our staff for someone's whimsy that they're high and mighty royal and can do whatever the hell they want. You cannot. This is a private business and not a public facility of some kind. So we have rules for everything. These rules are meant to safeguard our own people, our inventory and furniture and everything else. So if you go around doing whatever the hell you want, switching on tech or switching off tech, you know, without asking permission, or taking stuff and moving things around, I'm gonna chew you out. Everyone else is gonna chew you out for that reason. I wish just people could be more sensible, because we're not in the shit-taking business, period. And it's been a little weird in Telliskiv recently. But again, what you gonna do? Moving on to the movies and games section. Why we even have it in the captain's log is because, hey, it's my log, so I just talk about stuff that kind of pops into my mind and I like. And for me, it's always been an important feature I share with friends, you know. Hey, what are the films you've been watching or games you've been playing? So since I have no dialogue here, of course you're free to post stuff in the comments, but I'll just give you my highlights and maybe it will inspire someone. In terms of TV stuff, I watched Finch. I think it's somewhere between Wall-E and The Road, so I found it cute and to the point. So totally watchable. In other respects, I finished my second binge of Andor, because it's Andor. You don't need Jedi or funky space wizards to, you know, make something good in the Star Wars universe, and that series still proves its point. Otherwise, I've actually been looking out for very old things. I've always wanted to watch the Twilight Zone that ran from the 50s. It's like the holy grail of sci-fi and horror, and I've always loved old things anyways. So I'll let you know how that goes. It has a crazy number of seasons, but at the same time, it is highly original for me, and I very much look forward to watching it in its entirety. I haven't finished watching it yet, but the new Predator Killer of Killers, at least the Viking bit, was perfect. Someone is paying attention. I don't remember which of the Predators it was, where you had the samurai guy on that alien planet, and everyone was like, yeah, this could totally work in a historical fashion where the Predators meet ancient peoples of Earth and try to kill them. In this sort of a fashion, at least in this part, totally holds up. Of course, Love, Death and Robots, watch that. Beautiful. There's not much else to say. It's one of my favorite sci-fi flicks. Otherwise, I'm kind of just in preparation mode. I've been rewatching the 28 Days and Weeks, so my lifelong dream of actually capping off the trilogy with 28 years later is going to finally happen at the end of this month. Star Trek Strange New World Season 3 is coming. That's getting me really excited about a lot of things. Although some aspects of it seemed a little weird in the trailers, but open mind. Gonna watch The Ballerina, but do not care so much as to rush to the cinema right now. It's also garden season, you know, and I'm a bit of a hobbit myself. Not with the hairy feet, just with, you know, power tools and growing stuff. Game-wise, still had a good crack at Doom Dark Ages, but I'm just in a mindset where I need something more mellow, not run and gun action. So instead, I took the Game Pass by its tail and started playing out Dredge. Been eyeing that one for a long time anyway, so nice. Sort of a simple fishing game. Just cruise around on your boat and see you don't get eaten, especially when it's the night. Aside from this, I have my eyes set on all the things announced in the Xbox 2025 showcase. The new Indiana Jones DLC looks spectacular. Outer Worlds 2 could be fun, but overall I wasn't like too much excited. Where is E-Day? It was supposed to come out this year and wasn't even in the showcase, which means it's in development limbo again. That made me sad. But you know, I'll find something. I have a horrible backlog of games anyways. But otherwise, from all of us here, to all of you there, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Live long and prosper. As a word of warning, it's screechy season again. New summer means there are new baby seagulls, right? Whatever you do, we recommend not to approach the store from the back, otherwise you just might be attacked. Like literally. The mommy seagull is protecting the baby seagulls and all that stuff. When we take out the trash, we usually have to have some kind of a form of self-protection as a shield, otherwise it can be messy. Oh, of course, as usual, these guys tend to fall off the roof, so we give them water and make sure they become full-blown poo-poo machines. Yep, there's three of them. There's Angry Mama. Tom tom tom.